Hello, welcome to the We Are United Sports Channel and welcome to the We Are United News. We will provide you the latest Manchester United news, be it transfer window, be it happenings in the United atmosphere, anything that's happening in the United, in Man United. We bring the news to you live and direct, right? So you are welcome to this channel. If you are new to the channel, make sure you smash the subscribe button to be part of the family, and also make sure you turn the bell notification so that whenever I drop a new video, a new content, you'll be the first to know about it, which is very important. We're just going to be looking at that right now. So before we get started, look, thank you for coming back again. Thank you for the new subscribers, and thank you if you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And I'll be talking about four stories today. Four stories. First of all, guess what, guys? Marcus Rashford is back training, right? He's back training. He has started working on the field. He has started hitting the gym and everything like that. Though he's not going to, we're not going to see him this weekend. Probably we'll see him probably after probably in the from middle of September to the end of September. That's when we'll actually see him because of rehabilitation and everything like that, actually getting fit and everything like that. So that's when we'll actually see him. But it's a good news that it's finally, like, the operation was successful, nothing complicated. It actually went better than expected. So it's a very good news that Marcus Rashford is coming back. Because look, first of all, look, we need Marcus Rashford, right? We need Rashford because we'll be playing. First of Rashford is too valuable to Man U. First of all, he's too valuable. I don't know, probably some Man U fans, they don't rate him, but Rashford has always been struggling for the past seasons, and he's a very young player, which is not supposed to be. And he has still been helping us. He still scored 21 goals last season. He still scored 21 goals last season. I just wanted that to sink in. And he wasn't at his best. So even the matches he's not even playing very well, he will still score. And he didn't score penalties. There was no penalties or anything like that. He scored in normal, all his goals were normal goals, which is a very big thing. And he wasn't fit. He had his shoulder injury and everything like that. So he could not, if you see him, he could not really run well. He could not take on people well and everything like that. He was struggling. But guess what? When Marcus Rashford is back, you will know a player is back. Look, I see Rashford as a very world star, like a very big player with very huge potential. That's how I rate Marcus Rashford. If you don't rate him, then it's okay. It's you. But I rate Marcus Rashford so well. I know he's going to really tear Premier League apart, and I can't wait for that. And it will bring a lot of balance to the team, right? A lot of balance to the team, because when you look at the available options, you can't look. When you look at the available options, you see people like in the attack. You see there is Sancho, there is Cavani, there's Greenwood, there's Martial, right? I don't actually count James because look. Why I don't talk about James is because James is not supposed to be a Man United player, right? His decision making is very poor. All he knows is to run, right? James is the kind of player that he can just keep running across the ball, and he didn't even look to see whether there is anybody there he's trying to cross the ball to. That's the kind of poor decision he has, which I don't really fancy that much. So I prefer Alanga and Ahmad by far than James, right? Like, they should actually be way ahead of him in the pecking order and everything like that. So that's why I don't call James. But we have, like, starting attackers. We have Marshall, we have Cavani, we have Greenwood, we have. But right now, what I don't want Pogba to be a winger. I don't like my play. He's doing very well in the wing, the left wing. He's playing. He's doing extremely well. But I just want Pogba to just play in the midfield he plays in, right? Because we have so much firepower, like too much armor that we'll be trying to keep because we want to play Pogba in the wings. Because imagine when Marcus Rashford comes back, you won't tell me he's not going to bench Sancho, because that's not even his wing. That's to say, he has to get back to his normal wing, which Pogba is playing, because he's definitely the first choice in that left wing, because Martial is not really up for it right now. So he's not going to get there. And Greenwood, look, I don't see Man United even benching Greenwood right now because he's in top form. So why would you bench Greenwood? And Cavani will soon be back, right? Cavani will soon be back. So I suspect, look, Pogba has to just go back to the midfield, and it's just that is the thing about my buying a CDM, and I'll be talking about an update on the CDM. So that's why Man needs to buy a CDM so that we can have one CDM sitting the way Man City plays. Man City has Rodri or Fernandinho sitting, then they have Bernardo Silva and David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne playing the two attacking midfielders. That's what we want as Man United. That's what we want. Back then, we have Carrick in our defensive midfielder. Then we have the other players who are attacking. That's the kind of Man United we want. Not having people like Scott McTominay and Fred trying to wage just from. No, we just need one person to do the job. That's why it's important we make a signing, and that's very key. So while I'm so glad Marcus Rashford is back, it's a very big positive. He's feeling good and everything like that. There's no niguez or anything like that. He's feeling good, which is very important, right? So that's the first news on the line. And the second news is we're going to be talking about is that Ole is, according to Ole, he's kind of satisfied with the transfer, right? But I can't. But even though I didn't see it that way because I was watching. I was trying to watch. Someone was talking about what Ole tried to meant by what he said, and here's what Ole said was. I wish I can actually get that tweet right now and tell you what he says. He said, right? What Ole said, but basically what Ole said was that he's actually happy with the transfer window, getting Rafa Varane and Sancho. That anything else he gets is a bonus, right? Then he also said that he doesn't like. No one knows what will happen during the remaining days of the transfer, but he's very okay with what he got. And I actually thought to myself, like, what's incompetence like? Why would Ole be happy with what he's got? Because come on, there's a big hole in our team, which is the CDM role, defensive midfielder. There's nobody to sit. So why would you tell me that you are not buying players? But then when someone explained it, he tried to make you understand that look, Ole is trying to say, I'm happy with what I got, but I need more, right? I need one more signing. But if it happened, if it like, I'm not 100% okay with what I'm saying because Ole is a brilliant manager. He's not going to come out and say, I want a player and Glazers don't want to give me the players and stuff like that. He's not going to do that, right? Ole is the kind of player coach that will back the Glazers because at the end of the day, even as you love the club, if you don't back your owners, you cannot go like if you are working in a company, you cannot just go ahead and start talking about owner in the press and saying they are not doing well. Even though they are doing terribly, you still back them and be like, yeah, they are. It's not what you think. They are still doing well. So that's what Ole is doing. So he's just trying to say, look, what he meant by that is, I'm happy with the signings that have come in so far, which is true. Then he also means that look, there is in world of football, there is nothing because if Ole actually thought there was no, if he's not expecting any signing, he will say, I'm happy with this transfer window, with these players, and will not be signing anybody. But he didn't rule out the fact that something can happen, right? Because Man U actually in contact Sonny Gers, which we are going to be talking about next. So Sonny Gers news. So that's what Ole said, right? That's what said. So Sonny Gers, according to Fabrizio Romano, the Sonny Gers deal is still on, but Chelsea are ahead because Chelsea have already tabled a bid, but Man U hasn't made any bid, right? So that's the situation of one right now. Chelsea has made a bid, and Man U hasn't made any bid. So yeah, while watching this, but according to Fabrizio Romano, it's still an open situation. Right? It's still an open situation. Yeah, situation, nothing decided yet. A few days to go. There's usually this rush, but we see what happened, right? We see what happened. Personally, for me, I don't mind having Sonny Gers, to be honest. I don't mind having Sonny Gers. And if that's the only option we want, but if I was to choose from people in the market, I'll probably go Ruben Navas or Basuma, right? Someone that can sit, someone that you can rely on. But right now, the only CDM we have in Man United is Nemanja Matic. And Nemanja Matic is like 400 years old now. Slow with the ball, slow while running and everything like that. So it's not someone you can really depend on to playing week in, week out because it's so old. But naturally, that is the only player we have. So that's why I actually want. It's very important for mine to actually sign a good player because right now, look at what was the whole Chelsea's team this season. They needed a striker, and guess what? They got in Lukaku, right? Chelsea doesn't have midfield problem. but they want to still have star on the get. Because let's have a look at Chelsea's midfield options, right? Chelsea has Chelsea has Kante, who can play the CDM role and who can play the box to box role. They have Kovacic, who can play the box to box role. They have Jorginho, who can play the CDM role, right? They already have three players who can play comfortably well, and they also have what's the name of this player in the mid? I'm trying to think of this other player they have in the midfield. There's another player. They have Messi Mount, right? They also have Messi Mount in the midfield too, right? Because the way Chelsea plays, they play 3-4-3, so they have their three defenders, then two midfielders. So it's either Kante or Giorgio, or Kante or Kovacic that's playing, or the other way around, right? Then Mount, probably Havertz and Lukaku. So that's what they do. So they don't really have a big hole in the midfield, but they are signing. They want to still sign some guys, right, for options. So Man U actually we have a lot of midfielders, but we don't have the right one. There's a difference between having I have this now having the right one. Is that the right one? We don't have that right one, right? I wish Chelsea can just give us someone like even though a Jorginho. It would be so good. It would be a happy thing, right? So that's it for Saul niguez. We are hoping. Let's see how the story goes. Don't worry. There have been a lot of stories, different. Might want to sign King, might want to sign this, but don't worry. Soon, it's just the next 6 days. Everything will be over. We'll see who might signs and who doesn't sign. And the Camavinga is still in the table too. They're still talking to Camavinga. So the deal in that regard is still on. Right. He's still on. So lastly, before we go, there's a news on Basuma, right? There's a news on Basuma and by Chris Duncan, and he said, look, Maya are looking at Basuma, they are looking at Sonny Guest, and well, I don't really know how credible that is, right? I don't really know how the Basuma news. I don't really know how credible it is, and everything like that. But well, I just decided to throw it in. Now we'll see how it builds during the next few days. But right now, there's no more. He's the only one saying it, so I don't know. And it's not Fabrizio Romano, and it's not Christian Folk, it's not Mohamed Baosi. So we'll see how it goes in the next few days. Let's see whether he will be right or wrong, right? But he was the same person who said Man interested in Shumini, right? The same Man United are interested in Shumini, Man United are interested in Basuma. So Man United are interested in Saul. So at the end of the day, if one happens, it will be like, it's a credible journalist. But that's not the case, right? You can't just guess. So that is it. Then last thing before we'll talk about Paul Pogba. Because Paul Pogba was asked what he thinks about Varane. And I'm just going to read the statement for you so that you hear what he said. He said, first, what Pogba said was, I'm just going to scroll it so that I can read it, the full thing for you. So he said, Pogba said, I think Varane doesn't need him to settle in, right? He just settles in by himself. He's someone very mature, a very good guy. You can see he's good with everyone already. He's really good in changing room, which is important in football, right? Then he also said his experience, for his young age, he's seen it all. He has a lot of experience to give to the team. I think everyone can learn from Varane. He's with the best and playing with the best. Right? So basically, what it's just full of praise, and Varane, he's just saying that look, Varane is ready to go. Like he's a top player. He has won it all, and he's playing with the best players and stuff like that. So that is just the news. What he has to say about Varane, which is actually a cool thing, right? Cool thing having your which is because Varane is actually a top player, right? A top. The truth is that you don't watch Varane week in, that's like week in, week out. That's why you don't know how good he is. But we should know that before a player is starting for Real Madrid, it's not just any kind of player. If any kind of player is starting for Real Madrid now, you know that they have actually dropped recently. But for the past how many years, he has been the one partnering the Ramos. If he wasn't good, he would not be there. They would have started someone else to replace him. Right? They actually wanted to make Varane the captain just to persuade him, but no, he didn't want that. Right? He wanted to move, and that's why he came. And he wanted to play for Man United, which was a very big thing. Right? So yeah. That's it for today's news, and we'll see. I'll keep on updating you on the transfer news and how things views. And remember, in the weekend we're playing Wolves. I'll bring you that news, the updates on the fitness level, talking about Wolves, talking about Man United, and uh, potential. I'll also tell you the potential. I'll also do a video on the starting lineup so that you can easily see who's starting or not, right? So, which is very key. So, yeah, that'll be all for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one, and make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe if you have not subscribed. Subscribe. Like this video and turn on the bell notification, whatever, so that whenever I drop a new content like this, you'll be the first to know about it, right? So, except that, that'll be all for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow morning.